We are at Constitution Park where the St. Lucia National Archives Authority is putting on its annual Independence exhibition. And the National Archivist, Mrs. Margot Thomas, is with us. Tell me a little bit about your display.
Well, every year for independence, we try to help St. Lucians to see the development of our country. And this year we're looking at castries before and after. So we have a number of pictures which show different areas in castries and how these areas have changed through the years. We have also some photos showing our harbor, the Conway area, and to complement what we're doing, we're trying to help our people see how we do our genealogical searches. So if they want to find out about their grandparents, great-grandparents, to set up a family tree, they could come to the archives and we could help them do that. We also show them some of our newspapers. Our newspapers go back to the 1800s, and they could see that we have titles like the Palladium, the Advertiser. These newspapers we no longer have, but the Voice of St. Lucia, which started its run from January 1885, they could come to the archives and they could get to see copies of those. We also have the West Indian Crusader, the Standard and the Herald. These were all introduced in the 1930s, and they could see some of those titles on display.
Now the display appeared this morning, which is Thursday. Tell us, how has the public responded to you being here this morning?
Oh, the public was so warm. They came around and they were so inquisitive. They wanted to know exactly what we were doing. So we had quite a number of people who have walked through. And we want to encourage people to come to our display when we have them. We call it Archives and Parade, and to come to the National Archives so they could see more of our history.
Do you find that people make use of the National Archives sufficiently? Ordinary people.
Sufficiently.
Yes.
Yes, they do, because particularly with having to get their birth certificates, quite a number of people, the ordinary St. Lucians, use the archives, and quite a number of them come back because they want to find out about their families. And we have our students, they use us a lot to write their SBAs. So I must say that as the years go by, more and more people are realizing and have realized the work that we're doing at the archives, and they are making use of the archives.
Normally, what is the response of people when they see, like, let's say before and after, or just before?
Oh, well, amazement is the word I'm going to use. They say, that's what it looked like. They are amazed, but yet there is a lot of interest. So they're very interested in seeing what the country used to look like.
Margot, let's just go around this particular panel, but before this, let me get a sort of view of this castries.
This is a very important photo, because here you have the two buildings where we have the National Archives, you have where we have the Mexican Embassy. Opposite it, we have the Casa building where we have the French and Venezuelan embassies. But then I want you to see that this whole area here was demolished to put in the airport. And this actually was the Colonial Hospital. And many people don't know that there was a hospital at VG. And so this no longer exists, right? We have the runway running right through here.
Okay, great. That's a wonderful piece of information. But people are always fascinated about what castries, let's go across, what castries particularly looked like. Let's start after the 1927 fire.
Yes, that's
For
right.
example, we're looking here at a section of Castries, and
That's
this would be
Bourbon
Bourbon
Street,
Street, right?
and
Because
that
of
is
the
the library,
Castries
yes.
Library right here, right?
Yes, that's Bourbon Street.
Right. We're looking at also other areas such as the village of Dennery,
Yes.
and we have here also Viewfort. This is the Castries Market at the moment. Some time ago. That would be around the 1930s. This is Prince Alfred's Basin,
Yes,
right?
and we can see the Muta building.
Yes,
And we can see Carrasco & Son.
right.
That's where Carrasco & Son used to be right there.
All right.
Yes.
Then we have here, which is Corporation Street.
And this street no longer exists
Yes.
as it was then.
It is now, well, part of it is
It's
now
now
called
Cadet.
Cadet Street.
Yes.
It would have gone all the way.
To the all the way to the square.
Right.
Columbus Square,
Okay,
yes.
Columbus Square.
Yes.
And
then
many people
this
would know, or would be
when-
surprised to know, that the St. Mary's College actually started in the
on
middle of
Miku
Cass Street. Right.
Yes, on Miku Street. Yes.
Okay, let's just read what it says here for a minute.
Yes. Father Louis Tapo.
Yes, he was the one who started it in 1885,
Yes.
finished in 1890, and built mostly from volunteer assistance by the priest and other St. Lucians.
And he was also the one responsible for building the minor basilica. That's how we call it now, but the cathedral.
Okay. Okay, this is another view of Castries, Point Seraphim. You see here Victoria Hospital in the foreground, and here is a little when the modern version of Point Seraphim was being laid as a foundation. So there's a lot to see. I think a lot of people are always fascinated about the history. So how many more of these are you planning to do?
Well, we plan to do it every year so people could have an idea, and especially during the independence season, it is a good time for us to do it because that's when people are filled with patriotic fervor. So we're trying to help them, understand more about their country.
All right, Margot Thomas, thank you very much, the national archivist. And remember, you're here tomorrow, Margot, Friday. It's just for one day only. And this was called Archives on Parade, our history, our legacy, stories from the past. Thank you very much.